So Jiwoon Hwang is the founder and chief evangelist of the Refugee Island initiative in Svalbard. He is currently living there, and he's also writing a book about antinatalism. He attended Case Center for Creative Entrepreneurship and Draper University, and his column on open border settlements as a place for refugees has attracted a lot of international attention. So here is Jiwoon Hwang.
Thank you for your warm welcome. My name is Jiwoon, and what I'm going to talk about is the region I am residing, which is called Svalbard in Norway, which is the only open border zone in the world. I'd like to introduce key factors about Svalbard. Of course, Svalbard is a Norwegian territory, and there used to be no people in until 20th century, and now there's about 27,100 people, and there are 3 major settlements, and industries are coal mining, tourism, education, and research bases. Of course, Svalbard is quite cold place. 4 months there's no sunset, and for 4 months there's no sunlight. But what I'm gonna emphasize is that Svalbard's immigration policy. That Svalbard Treaty of 1920 stipulates that all signatory nationals, all citizens of the signatory countries have equal right of access and entry as Norwegian nationals. And also, Norwegian government made no difference between signatory nationals and non-signatory nationals. So even if you are from outside signatory countries, for example, if you are from Thailand, but you can still live there without any visas, and you can work there, you can study there. I'd like to recommend to read an article by Al Jazeera English in 2006, which is titled Immigrants Warmly Welcomed. And this is actually a Wikipedia article I myself has created. And it is the only country, the only Wikipedia article only saying that it have no visa policy, no visa requirement at all. Svalbard is outside Schengen area, and usually you take the airplane from Oslo or Tromsø, and you check at the border in Oslo or Tromsø, and when you land the airport in Svalbard, there's no border patrol. Svalbard Treaty was signed in 1920 by countries including United States, Soviet Union, and Norway to establish sovereignty to Norway, but make all the signatory countries have equal right of commercial activities in Svalbard. So I think Article 3 is the most important part of Svalbard. The nationals of all the high contracting parties, signatory countries, have equal liberty of access and entry for any reason to all the territories of Svalbard. But of course, Norwegian government can establish some environmental protection guidelines, but they cannot impose any restriction that the Norwegian government do not impose on Norwegian nationals. And the paragraph 2 of Article 3 stipulates that no monopoly shall be established on any business in Svalbard. Also, Svalbard Treaty, paragraph 3 says that Norwegian government should have a treat countries as the most favored nation in importing, exporting. Yeah, this is about also equal treatment to all nations of signatory countries, according to Svalbard Treaty. And Svalbard Act, according to Svalbard Act, not all laws of Norwegian mainland apply to Svalbard. Only Norwegian civil law, penal law, and procedural law of mainland Norway applies to Svalbard. And Svalbard have quite free cheap tax rate. VAT is free, and income tax is 8 to 22%, and corporate tax is about 16%. And there's a flight connecting Svalbard and mainland Norway almost every day, and it is usually quite cheap, $60 to $100. When it's expensive, it's go up to $200 or $300. I think the reason I like Svalbard is Svalbard gives everybody opportunity to live in the Norway, the most prosperous country in the world. According to Human Development Index, Norway is world's first nation, and GDP per capita is almost the first country with population more than 1 million. Also, Norway is one of only 5 countries that was rated by Freedom House that aggregate freedom score is only 100%. Also, Norway is ranked first place by Economist Intelligence Unit in Democracy Index. This was my personal project called Refugee Island Initiative. You can go to my website in refugeeisland.org. Also, you can visit my Refugee Island Initiative Facebook page, and you can read about my project. My idea is that even though this place is quite cold place, I think because refugees cannot be turned out for reasons of their citizenship or their refugee needs. So I think this place can be quite great place because refugees do not need any approval from any government. This is a comment to the Al Jazeera English made by then Assistant Director of Norway, Immigration in Norway. He said that if asylum seeker is denied residence in Norway or other countries, he can settle in Svalbard. I think right of expatriation is quite disenfranchised right for almost all world citizens. But I think Svalbard can be a place where every people can go because United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights stipulates that we all have the right to live our own nation, our own country. But in practice, we are not allowed in other countries for a long time without special permission. So I think Svalbard can be a place where a lot of oppressed people in a socialist country or oppressive country can flee and go to the most free country in the world. Actually, incredibly, a lot of people want to live their own country. According to Gallup, about 14% of adults in the world, 300 million people are interested in going outside, emigrating to foreign country permanently. And there are, of course, 200 million refugees and 40 million internally displaced persons. I think Svalbard settlement project can be similar to Moon settlement or Mars settlement or Blue Seed project, seasteading project. Actually, Egyptian billionaire called Naguib Cyrus, I think he's the richest guy in Egypt. He proposed to buy an island of Greece or Italy to settle refugees. But Greece or Italy was very reluctant to sell any island to Mr. Naguib Cyrus. So I think Svalbard can be a good candidate for making refugee settlement for Naguib Cyrus and other philanthropists and billionaires. Actually, a lot of Norwegian politicians suggested sending refugees to Svalbard. I'm not sure why they suggested it. I think some of them are, of course, had some leanings in exclusive attitude on refugees. But this is interesting to read into.